As we color our pictures today, I want you to try to do your very best coloring. Here are a few tips to do that. Tip number 1, try using two colors that are similar or from the same color family and using the darker one to trace and add a layer around the edge and the lighter one to fill it in. So I'm going to start with this darker raspberry color, and I'm going to color around the edge of my watermelon, and I also like sometimes to color around each part in the middle individually. For me, I find it helpful to rotate my paper sometimes as I'm going. That way I can keep coloring in the same direction more easily. I also like to do short, small, back and forth strokes of color because I find that when I go in a shorter motion, I have more control and I'm less likely to make the pencil line somewhere where I don't want it and more likely to make it look how I do want it to look. Okay, I've outlined with the raspberry color, and now I'm going to also add a light layer of it so that the blend looks smooth and it doesn't look like a random jarring color transition. It looks more intentional. To do this, I am pressing more gently or lightly with my pencil. It makes a different color when I do that. That's when I press hard, and that's when I press light. Now that I've finished with the raspberry color, I'm going to blend over all of the inside parts with my red color, and even though some of the raspberry color lines were a little bit messy, when I color over with the red, it ends up looking very neat, and it has a deeper, more 3D effect because we use two colors with the darker color on the outside. I can even, after I color all the way over once with the red, color in the other direction to hide my pencil strokes even more. So with the red right now I've colored vertically, and then if I go in and I color side to side too, it'll look like there's hardly any white spots, and it'll look like my best coloring. And I can do this technique with lots of other parts too. Maybe for the rind of the watermelon I would want to do a darker green and a light green. It's really fun to see how the different colors will make the artwork look more interesting and more unique and more professional when we combine them together. In addition to coloring in our pictures today, we're also going to be drawing backgrounds. And you can actually see I've started to draw a background down here with these diamond pattern shapes. I was thinking kind of like a picnic blanket. I was kind of inspired by that idea, and I knew I wanted it to match the watermelon just because I thought that would be a fun effect. So just so you can see a little bit here, I've started to outline the outside of the watermelon with the green. That's a dark green. And then when I fill it in with this bright green, they blend together because they're both greens, but it looks a lot more interesting than if I had only used one color. I'm really excited to see your neat coloring and all of your backgrounds for your pictures. Remember that background should fill the whole space and should add context so we can think about where the thing we drew is and how it can look interesting and more like a whole picture when we draw and color the background.